the you handed me the mantle, and I'm gonna run it up for you. So Chris is joining us with over 10 years of financial industry experience, right? So Issa, when you're looking for a loan for your business, this is gonna be the man you talk to.
Correct.
Right? He was over at Webster. Now he's running TD, right? We all know TD for the Garden, so they're the main sponsor for the building that the Celtics play at. Chris has a wealth of knowledge. I see him on the golf course constantly, so I know he's always leveling up and mingling with all the people with money. So please make sure when you see him, you ask him all the questions when it comes to your family trying to buy a home and getting loans and different things like that to level yourself up to get generational wealth. Chris is going to be your guy. So please give a round of applause and a warm welcome to Chris Sylvestre, everybody.
Yeah. Now you put the pressure on me with that introduction, man. I'm just a normal guy, that's just me. I'm very, but I appreciate that introduction, and I'm glad, Claude is also passing the mantle as well, because, that's what mentorship's all about. So I'm happy that's happening over there as well. So, so what, how do you guys want me to start off? You want me to just talk about myself, talk about what I've done, some of the stuff I'm working on now, or
talk about where it all started. Yes, talk about your journey through life. They say, sometimes life is, we go up, but you go up, you go down, you go, probably a little back down a little bit more, then you go all the way up. So let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm 100% Haitian American. I was born here. My parents came here in the 70s and settled in Waltham, Massachusetts. My grandparents were already here, so that was the place of choice. Because I always ask my parents, we come from a beautiful, nice, warm island, and you chose one of the coldest place to settle. Like, I don't get it, right? So, but family was already here. We already had established connections. So, so we started in Waltham, went to high school there, graduated from there, played football. Went to Suffolk University in Boston. Graduated from Suffolk with a bachelor's in criminology and law. Because my dream as a kid was always to be in law enforcement or maybe a lawyer. But it wasn't until, somewhere, around 2011, 12 is when I hit my banking career, and that changed everything for me. Law enforcement, I was still trying to get into it, but as I, waited to get in law enforcement, banking became one of my main jobs. Just, pay bills and get around, and it's actually it's been one of the best jobs that I ever have, because there's so much financial literacy I did not know. Right. So, when we go back to my high school, going into college years, that's when I remember getting my first credit card, and I put thousands of dollars on that bad boy. We're good? Everything good?
Oh, one second.
Oh.
It stopped for a second. Okay. Now you're good.
Oh, okay. I remember in high school, going into college, I got a credit card, and I didn't know I had to pay it back, and I just spent. I was buying hats, sneakers, trying to be that cool kid, right? Get the hats, get the sneakers, the Jordans, and I put it on a credit card, not knowing that I had to pay that back, because no one educated that to me. My parents never educated that to me. So, I ruined my credit in my early, 19, 20, being 20 years old. And it took me some time to fix it until I was 25 years old. It took me time to fix it. I had to do the right steps to fix it, ask the right questions, educate myself, and so forth. But the moral of the story is, now banking has shown me a different world of what we need to do for not just myself, but everybody around me within the community, within, high school, going into college. That awareness needs to be there. And I love that I get to come on these calls and spend time with you. Last time, some of you might have known, I was at Webster Bank, but I am now at TD Bank, as which is a step higher than when I was at Webster. I run the entire region for Boston, and I love it because it's the Boston's in the inner city where I've been doing my job. I've been doing the work, been doing the financial literacy, and I'm at a different platform now. I'm at a different level where I can now give back to the community even more of that education, like children like you, my own daughter, even my own family around me. So it's it's a humble to be in this position because I'm not going to front. It's an executive job, and it's a big job. It's a big responsibility, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as I'm a pill in the community for you guys to get you guys the better accounts, get you guys the better services, and give you that literacy. That's what I love working with 3Point so much, because you guys give me that platform to do that. And it's very important that we continue to do that. And I love being on these calls, and I want to continue to be on these calls. I just started coaching football and back in my hometown. So I'm going in my third year of coaching football, and I see, what I'm dealing with from a youth level, and I could just imagine what it's outside of Waltham, So and that's one of the passions is just giving back and being in the community. This job has taught me that, because I didn't know about that until I held this job. And I'm sure being a police officer or being a law enforcement, I would have learned that too. So my degree that I went to be a law enforcement translates to banking. It's helping the community, talking to people, helping them out, problem solve, solution, protecting their money. Law enforcement protect us, right? I'm protecting people's money, giving them the right decisions. So I can't just I just can't make these decisions like that. I have to think of how many people it's going to impact and change their lives and change my lives, my daughter's lives, my parents' lives, So, this has been a huge aha moment in my life, because I have so much that I can do, just a snap of a finger, that could change everybody's life. And how working with the city of Boston and all you guys, that's where my focus is. And that's pretty much it. I recently just purchased my first house about 2 years ago. It took me a while to get there. I got derailed, somewhere in 2015, with, my marriage and so forth. It didn't quite work out, but I bounced back. And there was that perseverance that we were talking about earlier. If you set your goals, your goals sometimes may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take 6 months, it may take 3 days, but you got to stick to it, right? And if it doesn't work, you got to go back to the drawing board and retweak it, right? You set yourself a goal, you got to hit that goal. You never steer from your goal. But there's people around you that can guide you and help you. And, and I did that. And one of the things I'll share with you guys is the way you do it is you pick 3 things. You pick 3 things that you want to accomplish, right? You write it on a piece of paper, okay? And you want to put the date that you want it. So today's what, July 15th? And you say, you know what, by next July 15th, 2023, I'm going to save, $2,000. We'll just throw that out there, right? And you put that date next to that. And then you put number 2, after I save that money, maybe I'm going to start my college fund or my house savings or whatever, my car savings, right? I want to buy a car, right? You put the date when you want to accomplish on buying that car and how much it's going to cost you to get to that car. And then number three, you leave it blank. You do not put anything in number 3, because if you can't accomplish 1 or 2, you're not going to get to 3. Okay. So that worked for me very well. And you have to be disciplined. And I put it in a frame. It's actually in my desk at home. I wish I was home. I would show you. It's on my desk. And I checked off 1. I checked off 2. And number 3 is blank. So I'm like, okay, what's next? Right. So now I'm going to fill in number 3. And I'm going to fill in number 4, but I'm going to leave number 5 blank. Right. It's because, you can't, we can't do so. There's so many things you can do in a day, in a week. You can't accomplish everything overnight, but you got to give yourself time. You got to give yourself knowledge, and then you can't give up. Yeah. Just because the first thing you tried didn't work doesn't mean you failed. You got to try number 2, number 3. I'm only good at what I do is because I failed a lot, but I picked up from my failures and I learned from my failures. I learned from my mistakes, and I do better. I do much better now, understanding that I did fail. And here's the reason why. And here's the reason why I can be successful now, because I learned. And that's it. That's all I got.
Nah, that was a gem after a gem after a gem. I'm gonna have to add on there real quick. Like, can you talk to us about some obstacles that got in your way and how it affected like your mental health? Because we're also talking about mental health this semester. So like, what is your like, what do you need to say about mental health?
Mental health is very serious, right? And everybody suffers it a different way. And it could be that you're away from your family. It could be that you you're not progressing in your career, your education. It could be you lost a family member, death, right? It could be relationship wise that you got separated from a wife or a girlfriend, and so forth. So, with mental health is, some people will go to the vapes, the cigarettes, because they think that's a solution. It's not. It just makes it worse, right? When you have to take that type of stuff to make yourself feel better, it's only temporarily, and it makes it worse. So, seeking help, which is friends, family, professional help. Like me personally, I had to, I seek professional help in my career, in my personal life. I have mentors that I reach out to when things are not going right. I run it by them. I said, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I'm thinking, and, they get me through it. And you can have more than one mentor. I have about like 4 or 5 that I can reach out, different perspective, people that look like me, people that don't look like me, women, men, I challenge people to always have a circle of trust and a circle of people that you can reach on and mentor you. Because there's other people that have gone through what we've gone through, and they've successfully gone through it on the mental health side. So having people to talk to is very important. Having people to engage that can engage you and also challenge you is important, because with mental health, to overcome mental health, you have to be able to overcome obstacles and challenges. So you need that coach, just like when you have a coach in sport. Coaches get you through the season. They get you better. They train you. You have, and so forth. You need a life coach too, and you need a mentor coach as well in your life to help with pressures, because the world puts a lot of pressure on our shoulders, and it's not easy to deal with unless you have right people guiding you. And it's not that you're weak, that you're asking for help. It's that you're strong. You're asking for help. It's the opposite. People think they're weak because they're asking people for help, but it actually makes you a strong person because you're asking for help because you want to make yourself better. So I hope that answered the question. I can't hear you.
Hey, Chris. I'm Coach Knapp. I'm in the classroom with the kids most of the day, and then I do some basketball drills with them when we get some free time. I just had a question about what you would have done differently when you were younger about your financial upbringing, and like what you're implementing now so that moving forward, your family can attain whatever goals you seek for them.
I would have asked more questions. I would have, because I didn't ask questions about finance. I didn't ask questions about owning a home, savings money, just for basic stuff like a car, or, because if you buy a house, you need to insure it because you got to protect it. So if something happens to the house, you're not left paying out of pocket for it, which could, really hurt your bank account. But small stuff like the basic checking, the basic savings, I wish I saved more when I was a kid, right? I've been working since I was 14. I didn't start saving until my late 20s. I just spent my money on gear, like hat, food, a lot of food because I love to eat, So, I spent my money. But if you get a paycheck that's like $200, put away put away $100 and put $100 in your pocket, and you got to be disciplined to do that. And those are the basic things that I would change. Ask more questions, save money, and just be more try to be more financially literate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Mr. Sylvestre. So we have some students who have some questions that they want to ask to learn more about your job, your experience. So I'm going to turn it over to our first student. His name is Gio. 3Point, can we clap it up for Gio?
Hey, Gio.
Hey,